Anybody else tired? Feeling it, right? No, that is awake. Yeah, I'm just tired. Everybody tired. You know, sluggish. Maybe it's the weather, right? Blame the weather. That's my dad always used to say. Shantunetti. That's why he moved away from Washington. Too dark and gloomy. We gotta wake up. We gotta wake up. You guys feel like stretching? Nobody. Okay, no. Okay, fine. Well, I was gonna make you guys stretch, but that's okay. All right. So today's on a message that I used to judge the American church preaching this. And I used to think, why are they always talking about money? That was back in the day when I wasn't tithing. It's like, yeah. But now that I'm living what I'm hearing, there's a benefit to it for ourselves and for God. There's been a lot of businesses that have been mismanaged in the past. A lot of businesses that have been trashed and gone. Sometimes it's the employees or the employers working right, stealing, mischievous, fraud, whatever they can do to try to get away from this or this and that, and the business crashes. Other times it's just mismanaged, not a good bookkeeper. Let's imagine a business that's worth $2 million, and you had to manage it. You had to be the bookkeeper. Because whether you run the business good or not, most families, that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I'm going through my notes. I'm flowing. It's not flowing right. Let me flow it again. A $2 million business. Who here wants to run one of those? No? Well, surprise, surprise, we're all going to run one of those. On average, a family in America has about $2 million that flows through their hands in the time of a career. $2 million. This was true back in the day when I did the math on computer trying to find out this and that. But it's true. We're making about $2 million throughout a lifetime. And it flows through our hands. It doesn't stay. It flows. So that's why they call it currency. Currency. Get it? It's current. Yeah, Mike, get off the stage, I know. I'm just, it's just, if I can explain you my last 3 weeks, I'd be finding excuses, but I have none. I'm just lame. So the question is, imagine you being the bookkeeper of this business, $2 million. If you were to manage it the way you manage it now, would you hire you? Yes, no, would you fire you? Pretty quickly. I would learn more. See, that's a good attitude. I like it. We would learn more. So the question is, the manager. What does a manager do? The manager manages the money. Man, these notes just don't flow with what I discuss. It doesn't flow, man. All right, you know what? Forget the notes. I'm just going to go old school. There you go. Just feel it. Go by the feeling. So we're managers, guys. The Bible teaches us about being managers of our money. If it's not even our money, it's our everything. We're managers. Many times we think it's our own. Many times we think, I worked hard. I did this hard. I went to school, I got my education, blood, sweat, and tears. I studied for 6 months straight for this exam and finally got my license in this or that. Or I went to Sac State University for 5 years and now I work for Mercy. Woohoo! Or whatever it is in your life. There's a lot of different things that we think we earned and we deserve it because I did it and now it's my money. I can finally spend it the way I want to. And what we don't realize and we don't recognize is that it's not ours. Everything we have is from God, period. There's scripture here, Deuteronomy chapter 8 verses 10 through 18 that I'm not going to read because I read it so many times. It flows in my mind, but it won't flow out here on this microphone right now. Moses is there, and God's talking to Moses, and they're going back and forth. And long story short, God's like, man, these people, they're forgetting about me. I have brought them through everything. I have given them water when they were thirsty in the desert through the rock when he cracked it. I've given them manna every single morning. I've given them quail when they wanted meat. I've given them the promised land. Yet they still complain. Yet they still don't this, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to, blah. They're always complaining about something. And they're like, well, we want more. And God's like, dude, I give you everything. There's not one thing you deserved, but I gave it to you, and I handed it to you. It's yours, but I gave it to you. No, but we deserved it. We walked through the thing for 40 years. We did it. Blah, blah, blah. It wasn't them at all. It was God. And that's our lives. That's our lives 100%. He gives us the ability, the knowledge, the distinction. He gave us everything we do have, yet we think it's ours. I know, speaking with a young person making whatever minimum wage, maybe $500 a month, and they said, I can't give anything to the church. I can give nothing to no one. I said, why? If I give away what I have, I don't got nothing left. It's mine. It's $500. Keep it in my pocket. And I'm thinking, man, if only we learn to trust God and learn that it's not ours, that God gave it to us. If we learn to let it go and let God manage it, not us, but let him manage it. So the owner of this company is God. We're the managers, but he's the owner. Many times we think we're the owner. We're the ones that produce the benefits. We're the ones that produced the job. We're the ones that produce the car we have, the houses we have, the clothes we wear. We produced it because we worked hard for it, and this is mine, but it's not ours. God's the owner. We were just managing it. He happened to be the one that said, you know what? I'm going to let you get that car. I'm going to let you have that job. I'm going to let you pass that exam. I'm going to let you do these things in your life. I'm going to give you the ability to sing. I'm going to give you the ability to recite verses. You know what? That's God, and that's not us. That's purely God. We have to recognize that and have it flow through us. Many times we take it in our own hands. I like, of course, Dave Ramsey. Of course, there's a lot of Dave Ramsey stuff. So he likes to say that a clenched fist. Many times we get this money, we make this, or our talents, or our abilities, or whatever it is, and we hold it in our hands, and we don't want to give it away. We just want to keep it right there. And the sad part is sometimes we get so emotionally attached to this thing called money or our abilities that we think we own it, and we're like, oh, it's mine. Oh, and the more we get, the more we just want to hold on tight. How can God give you and bless you if you're like this? How about you open it up? Let God work through it. He'll bring you more. I remember a person that, I don't know if they still go to a church, an older couple, but I asked them one time, and they were loaded. And I said, how are you so loaded? What did you do? And they said, Mike, I prayed, and I said, honestly, God, anything you'll give me, I will give 100%. I will give 10% of everything I make, period. No matter how much you bless me, I'm going to give 10%. I'm going to go to mission work. The more I can make, the more I can take off work and do these things, and I won't do these things for you. And guess what? He's been blessed more and more and more and more. And I see him going on these mission fields. I mean, we don't know him. Only if you ask him, he'll tell you. It's a very interesting situation with this guy, but it's pretty cool. And he's like, hey, I promise God, and I'm going to keep my word. And every time he goes out, yeah, he probably loses because he's not working for a month or two. God brings him right back and blesses him even more to where he can be a bigger blessing. Let that fist open. Let God flow. Let God work through that. There's some scriptures that show that the earth, in Psalm 24:1, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Psalm 50:10, the cattle on the 1,000 hills. He owns the cattle and the hills. He owns it all. Ownership. But we don't like to hear that. Of course. It's my wallet, my business. I do whatever I want with it. And you can live that way. But it's not a way to live. Start experimenting with God and start giving him his part, and you're going to be amazed. If you guys want to go New Testament, we have to give more than 10%. Give Old Testament, do 10%. At least do the 10%, the tithing. That's a whole different subject. In Deuteronomy, I was discussing the troubles they saw, the things they did, and the way they complain about things. And a piece of advice he gives is not to be satisfied and be content with what we have, but not be satisfied and content to the fact that, okay, when I'm satisfied, I'm content, I'm good to go. And that's it, I'm good. Let God flow through you, and you're going to start seeing some miracles happen. Have you guys ever experimented with that out of curiosity? Anybody, y'all? Letting God just say, you know what, God, this is your money, not mine. You do what you want with it. No? No, just a few, 2, 3, 4? Oh, man, I got testimonies, which I'm going to share some. These notes are good, but I'm going to let it flow tonight because I'm still sick, and I got to let it flow. In the passages, we're called to remember the Lord. In the beginning of the passage, it says, I remember, God, when you give me these things and you blessed me. And as you go through the chapter, it discusses how more and more bitter they became. And they said, God, you blessed us with the milk and honey. So we built houses, we built homes, we built these things, and now we have so much more. And then I forgot about you completely, God. At the very end, it says, remember that God did it. Because many times when we get engulfed in success, we puff ourselves up, pride. Look what I did, look what I accomplished. I'm so proud of myself. I make $200,000 this year. Wow. That's not true about me at all. But just saying, oh, wow. And we just forget about God because we think of our own success. I know of a couple many years ago here at church. Why didn't we sing here at church? Somebody else's church. I heard him, in the background. I was young. I don't know. I think it was 14, 15. And I said, you know what? I can't believe we give 10%. God hasn't blessed us at all. But they had a really nice business going on. But they just weren't growing financially. They just had a steady income. And they said, oh, we're not going to give 10% this year because God didn't bless us. And guess what? The next year, they're plummeting. And it wasn't even the economy. It was just them not, God saying, okay, well, you pull away, I'm going to pull away. It was interesting to see that. God owns it all. Not only the money, which is, I know, a message, oh, money, you know what? It's important. But he also owns our abilities, our talents. He gives us our resources, our connections, our friends. How many random times have you met somebody that happened to be somewhere else up higher up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just became friends with this guy. Now I'm going to get an opportunity to excel my education or excel my work or whatever it is. He gives us the skill and the talents. There's some people that are skilled, and there's people that are not skilled. God blesses the skilled. May he continue blessing you with skills and talents. And he gives us those. He gives us opportunities to earn money. Not only a job and a career, but sometimes side money, right? Side cash. Little job here, little job there. Those are nice. Anybody side jobs? No, just me? I love them. Little photo shoot here, right? Little things. And God's like, I'm going to take care of you. You guys don't worry about it. He gives us the strength and energy to work. This is important. We're young. We don't feel it. We're always strong and energetic. Man, get sick for a week. You're not going to be strong and energetic. You can be like, oh, this sucks. God gives us the strength and the energy. He gives us the youthfulness that we have in ourselves to be able to go work and do what we can for him. And he gives us the employers to give us the money, right? He blessed that guy to bless us. If he would have just won it for ourselves, what about that guy? Well, that guy needs to be blessed. That way he can bless us. And we can bless the next guy down the line. He gives us our homes, our jobs, our families, everything we have. We take that for granted sometimes. And why does he do it? Because he loves us. Very cliche, right? God loves us and he gives us things. Well, it's true. He does love us and he does give us things and he gives us opportunities to be here. So the situation is, okay, so he owns it. He owns it. Now what? Well, the question is, what do we do with it? We're managers. What do you do with this? As a good manager and a bad manager. What do bad managers do? They don't appreciate. They don't take value. Bad managers spend wherever they feel like. Bad managers steal, put it in their own pocket. Why is this fuzzy? Anyways. Bad managers squander the money, just kind of spread it around. The problem with a bad manager is when the owner says, okay, you have managed my money. I need a check for this place. Take care of it. Oh, I can't, boss. Why not? Well, I bought a boat. Oops. Why'd you spend a boat? Well, you gave me the money. I get to do what I want to do, and this is what I wanted to do. So, bad managers. Doesn't mean we can't have fun. We can definitely have fun. God wants us to enjoy life. There's a passage on that too, which I'm not going to share because you're going to be like, oh, we should have fun all the time. He calls us to give when he wants us to give. We need to have his resources properly ready and managed. That way when he does ask us to start working, we need to be able to start working. I like in Dave Ramsey's series, he teaches about debt, right? If you're in debt and you just over your head in debt, and God's like, okay, I really put on your heart to give this group of people from Romania that came to do a missionary for whatever for $1,000. Well, I can't, God, I don't even have $20 in my pocket. Well, if you manage the money right, you'll be able to do it. And you get huge blessings from that. How do we manage our money? Well, that's the Dave Ramsey series, 9 months, 9 weeks. It'll be next year, guys. Join it. It'll be good. I want to do it on Friday nights, but he's probably not going to let me. It's really, really good. Sometimes we get confused. Bad managers get confused and start thinking it's their own, right? That's when we start thinking it's our own. We do our own thing. We take our own money. We do our own thing. Spend it how we want to. Okay, another mic. I'm done, he says. Close. And that's no way to live, being a bad manager. Spend it the way you want it. A good manager. God lets it flow. Listen to him and see how he tells you. Man, should I buy that motorcycle? Yes or no? Should I buy the hot rod? Yes or no? Should I spend those $300 jeans? I don't know. Ask God, he'll tell you. If you make $10,000 a month, all right, do what you got to do. But if you're just in college, doing, the here and there. So the question is, what do we do? And this is the main point, believe it or not. All that was just, Bible stuff and back, which is good. YouTubers. But I do want to give some examples. In Proverbs 3:9, it says to give your first fruits of everything you have. And I spoke with my brother, David. He told me I can use it as an example, and I actually have his text. What he told me is pretty cool. A couple months ago, David had a job, a little side job. And he made whatever. I don't know how much he made. I don't know, some kind of money. And he said, Michael, I really want to buy this, I really want to buy that. What do you think? What's your opinion? And I was like, first things first, David, take your 10%, put it aside, and give it away. Give it away. Where do I give it to? To the church, to the youth? I said, whatever God put in your heart, but give it away. Do not keep it for yourself. Say, God, this is yours, and you take it. And this is his text that he gave me. I said, can I use your example? He said, yeah, sure. And he said, yes, go for it. His next text. That first tithe was a hard thing because I had no idea where my next money was going to come from. It was a one-time job that he did. I had no idea where the next money was going to come from, and it was a huge sacrifice. Like, it wasn't easy at first, but once I gave it up, well, it didn't feel like it was my money anymore. I knew it was God's money. I was like, wow, David, I'm kind of impressed. Once he gave it away, he goes, okay, not my worry anymore. It's God's money. Let him handle it. He can handle it. I know in our situation, my situation, pre-marriage, I would always give God whatever I had left. I would have it backwards. I would spend on whatever I had to spend it on this, as the paychecks come. And then I would spend it on this and this, and I said, oh, well, let me go fishing, spend some money there, get some gear here, get some ammo here, get this, go out to eat a couple times, go to here. At the end of the month, I was left for like, a little bit money, 10, 20 bucks. 20 bucks was huge. Like, 20 bucks, I give 20 bucks. And that's what I gave. And then going through the program, I know I'm advertising for Dave Ramsey, but after going through the program, I learned that I had the opposite. We got to switch that list upside down. The very, very first thing you do, very first thing as that month comes, in David's example, you give the 10%, and God will bless you. In David's situation, he gave that 10%. 3 weeks later, he got an amazing job. And through that amazing job, he has blessed some of you guys here today with really good jobs. And I'm very, very proud of him for doing that, because I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here, 4 people that have a tremendous, awesome jobs because David took that first step of faith. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Everybody. There's been times where we swap the chart. Okay, we're going to give God 10% of everything we have. Okay, let's do it. There's been times where we had it planned. Everything was planned, and we gave it. And we're looking at each other. Jen and I were like, we don't have enough for them. The mic. If they just speak up, I can speak up. You sure? Okay. Red. Blue 42, red. And we would, that's funny. Sounded like a trumpet. That's why it was the trumpet. So anyways, we would give it. We say, God, this is your money. This is not ours. We're just the managers. You take care of it. You handle it, because it's just not ours. And the next day, something else was due for $200. I was like, oh, God, we don't have it. We spent whatever we had. And it's those miracle stories where you go in the mailbox and you get a check from the insurance company for $500. That's happened 3 times. One time we got a check for $500 from her school. What? We didn't qualify for financial aid. We were paying out of our pocket for her to go to school. And yet they gave us some money back. I was like, what? I don't know how many times we said, man, we can't do this trip right now. It's really, really, really cutting to our budget. We planned for it. We set it up. Things came up, little things. And we were blessed at that trip. $100, $200. Like, whoa, awesome. Side jobs. Side jobs are a big thing. God gives us opportunity. Or where you're doing your thing, you're trying to budget, you're trying to keep everything in order, and something comes up like something you forgot, like, oh, I have a boat too, now I got to pay for that insurance thing in my bob or something. It's like, how do I do it? God, I trust you. Let it go. And 2 days before it's due, another couple $100 come in from a different side job. It's awesome. That's just how God's worked in our lives. And there's a whole different sermon on tithing and the American way of tithing, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I look at the American churches, and they're huge. Bridgeway just did basically a benefit dinner type thing that we did on the same event, and they made $4 million. $4 million, right? Am I right? Right? Kat, you go there, right? You don't go there no more? Okay. Anyways, so they made $4 million that evening because they're building a new church as well. And I'm thinking, man, if us Romanian people just learn to give, God will learn to bless us back. That's it. If you guys can walk away with one thing, the one thing is we're not the owners. We're just the managers. We manage his time. We manage his money. We manage everything he gave us. When he tells us to give, make sure we give our time and energy and our money. Okay, and the end. All right. That was very, I know, but you know what? We need to hear it. And hopefully we start living it, because I'm telling you, man, Jen and I are living it, and it's like, Charlie, trust God. God, you got it. So testimony that I wanted to share, but I didn't share it because I want to share it now. It was with trusting God, it was with the Holy Spirit being led. 5 weeks ago, I should change my tone of voice, right, to make it sound like I'm not preaching anymore. 5 weeks ago? No, just kidding. 5 weeks ago, I was applying for a new job because my job was really, really lame with hours. I'm getting really low hours. And I prayed about it. I said, God, okay, I'm looking for a couple of jobs, a couple of opportunities. So I applied for every single day. And that's the way I do. I said, God, I'm going to apply everywhere I can. The door you open is yours. And I know it's yours 100%. So he opens the door for Sutter Radiation Oncology up in El Dorado. I was like, sweet, okay, cool, got it. And I did the test, and they said, you have to do this pre-exam, blah, 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 and you have to pass it with a 90% and an 80% on the two halves. I took the test, and I failed. I was like, dang, I failed. And they said you can only take it once every 30 days because they changed the test every 30 days. And you can only do it 3 times a year. After that, you're out. I was like, man, the pressure. And I failed. I said, but God, you opened this door, right? One of those situations. But God, you did it. I was like, oh, you know what? I said, God, you know why. You know what's up. And you know, you're going to take care of it. 3 days later, I get a call. A week later, I get a call about 3 days. 3 days later, I get a call. And they said, hey, Michael, we called radiation to let them know that you failed. And they refused. So you need to come in Monday morning, and you're going to take the test, you and me, one-on-one, and you're going to retake the test in a week. I'm like, sweet. So Monday morning, I show up. I go over the test with her. I said, okay, I got it. And then she said, you're going to take the test in a week. I said, and wait for your results 10 more days. And I was like, ah. She goes, you know what? Come Wednesday, take the test, wait for me. I'm going to grade it right then and there. I was like, sweet. So I go there. I take the test, of course, to get like 98% on everything, which is awesome. And she tells me, and I got the job. I was like so excited. And I start on Monday. So I'm very excited. Unfortunately, it is the exact same pay. But that's okay, because it's clinical experience. That way I can move to Kaiser and get the big bucks. But until then, Sutter it is. Sutter's beautiful. It's a really nice company to work for. Cool. Anybody else has testimonies? You really do? It's totally a joke, but if you want to do it, you can. You got 5 minutes. Come on up. We should have the Thanksgiving thankful night thing, right? Just thinking, right?
So